today. So welcome all. Today we will be refreshing our, like yesterday we have learned about the constructor. So today also we will go through that. Today we will have the topic of what is constructor. We have already covered. How to run, call. Now you know how to call the constructor. Anyone? How we call the constructor? Anyone? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Cherry, audible.
Okay. So how we call the constructor? Constructor can be called by itself when we create an object. That's what we have learned yesterday, right? Constructor will be called automatically when we create an object. Okay, object of that particular class where we have like say, okay, constructor is how we create constructor. New batch first, then old batch. How we create constructor? Constructor is a same name as
class.
Correct. Same as class name, right?
Yeah, correct.
And it doesn't have any return type. It has no return type and only access modifiers. Okay. How many access modifiers constructor can have? Public, private, protected, default. Right. So this is very important interview question. Someone can ask you that how you call a constructor or how you run a constructor or execute a constructor. Everything is same, but usually we say how to call a constructor. Constructor can be called automatically when we create object of that particular class. Okay, where the constructor is created. Okay, so class name or constructor name will be same, right? So as soon as we create an object, this will be called. Clear, everyone? Any doubt?
No.
You can ask me now. Otherwise, it is going to be like difficult day by day. And if you don't get the concept now, it will be difficult to give you the concept later. Okay. Why we create constructor? We create constructor for initializing the instance variables, correct? So that we can give value to the instance variables, right? What is instance variable?
Global variable, which can be,
Correct.
we call it in any method.
Any method which is non-static. If it is static, then it will be a static global or instance variable. Okay, great, good. So why we create constructor is clear. What are the need of constructor? That is also same thing. These are all the questions they can ask you in like different ways. Okay, so why we use constructor in Java? These three are the similar question. Like why we use to optimize the code. Right?
Again and again, we don't have to use it, so it makes less.
Make the object and we have to make the object, but we can optimize or code reduction can be possible. We don't have to assign all the values to the object. Okay, we don't have to assign again and again. So with the help of constructor, we can initialize the variables and assign the values with the help of object. Okay, now we come into the how many types of constructor are there. Okay, we have not covered that part. Okay, this we have covered. So this is how we give the initialize the values of the instance variable. Okay, now becomes how many types of constructor are there. So basically there are three types of constructor. Default constructor, which doesn't have any argument. Okay, and it is already created by compiler. generated by compiler. Okay, so this is the default constructor, no argument constructor, and parameterized constructor. Okay, first we will learn what is default constructor. So default constructor is what, when we create this object. I hope we all clear about this line, right? This I'm assuming, I'm not repeating again and again, that how we create an object. Okay, class name, object equal to new, and then constructor of the same class name. Okay, so this is, we are done now. We are I'm not gonna repeat this. Okay, so as I told you, this is a constructor. So this when we create an object, this is the thing like test and parentheses. So this is a constructor which doesn't have any what do you say, public, private, protected, no access modifier. It is compiled automatically. Okay, it is created by the compiler. Okay, so this is called as default constructor, which we always be called whenever we create an object. Okay, so this is a default constructor. Now comes the no argument constructor. No argument constructor, we write it by user write it. Okay, in a default constructor, user don't write it. Okay, in no argument constructor, user write that test test same as class name, parenthesis, and then opening and closing bracket. So this is called as user defined or programmer defined constructor, and it doesn't have any argument inside it. Okay, third type is parameterized constructor. Okay, so this is parameterized constructor. When we have test and inside the parentheses, there we are passing some value. These are all local variables, local to the constructor. Okay, so if we say that this is it is passing some parameter, then we have to pass some values inside it. Otherwise, it will give you syntax error. Okay, so I will show you in the Eclipse.
So as sorry, Chavi, in the first type of constructor, right? You said it is created by compiler, but when we start, when we create a new class, so does it create by itself? This one we will create,
Yes.
right? Test T.
Yes. This is create. No, this is like in a memory. I mean, this is not we are writing. That's why I've kept it in a bracket. So there is a one like this is done by the compiler, like somewhere separate. This is already been created, but we cannot see it because user has not created this, but the compiler constructed somewhere in the memory. Okay?
So it's in the back end, but it will not
in
come
the back
as
end.
soon.
We cannot see it. We cannot see it. It's just that to give you the how the constructor are created, just to keep in mind. Okay, that's why I have not written it here. I have written it here in a block that this is how the constructor create this test somewhere inside the memory. Okay.
And the second one, you said no argument constructor, right? Can you please show me like an example showing how it works?
Sure. Yeah. Suppose this is a test, okay, and we are creating a constructor. See, if I delete public, it is taking as public only. So either you write public or not, it is public only. Okay, then this is a no argument constructor. Okay, no argument constructor. So this is the example, right? We have done it like last class. This is no argument constructor and it is called automatically. Okay, once we create an object. Okay.
Oh, it's like a normal one, right?
It's a no argument constructor, means we are not passing any argument here. If I execute it, it will will be called automatically. That's the only thing. Like I have not called this method here, but it is coming one, correct? Because we have created an object. Now comes the like parameterized constructor, correct? So if I write here string, string name, okay, I have written string name. So see here it is coming syntax error. What it is saying that constructor is undefined. Why? Because the behavior is now changed, right? Now this is parameterized constructor and here we are not passing any value. So it is saying it is not a defined constructor. It is undefined, correct? So we have to pass some value inside it, okay? Any value which is of string, okay? If I say here integer, then again it will say it's undefined, okay? The constructor is undefined. Why? Because we can pass only value here, right? So we can pass only integer value here. We cannot pass any other value. So if it is, so type is very important. If it is a string type, then it should pass string value here. If it is integer type, it should pass the integer value here. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
So this is called as parameterized constructor. Okay. Now, as I told you, the constructor do not have any return type due to following two main reasons. The main reason of constructor is to initialize the, correct, as I told you, to initialize the object. That is why we don't have any return type. Okay. Why? Because if we are initializing and you wanted to return something, then what will it will return, right? Suppose you are initializing some like you have some return type, then these are all the return types, right? These are the different return types you wanted to initialize the instance variable. There are so many instance variables, then what we will return, right? The constructor will get confused that either I should return name or I should return the employee ID. So that is why there is no return type. Sorry. So there is no return type in the constructor. When the compiler creates a default constructor, that time also it will not be available. It will not able to judge the return type. So there is no return type. Like when there is a default constructor and you have some return type in this, then the compiler will get confused. So to avoid such confusion, there is no return type in the constructor. Okay, so just be careful. Sometimes it is asked by the interviewer that do we have return type in the constructor? So answer is a big no. Okay, we cannot have. Okay, so this is the summary for the constructor. You can go through it. We have already done it many times. So if you have any doubts, you can come to me. Okay. Moving on, we have this keyword. This keyword is very important in Java. So how do we use this keyword? Okay. So when we have some class test, suppose we have a test class, and inside that there is an instance variable I. Okay. Now what we are doing, we are setting the value of I to X. Okay, we are putting what I have told you here, whatever is the value of X is going to be I, correct? So what we are doing here, we are initializing the value of I, correct? Initializing the value of instance variable, okay? And we are printing here, okay? Same thing, whatever is the value of I, because we have already done this. But what I wanted to show is if the variable here and here is same, then what will happen? Here this is a simple program. Okay, I will show you in the Eclipse also. Suppose there is a test method. Okay, and I'm creating one instance variable int I. Okay, now I'm creating one method. Suppose void set value. Okay, set value and passing some integer value x. Okay, inside that I'm doing I equal to x. Okay, I'm initializing the value of I. Now here, what I am doing, I'm creating the object here, and
Chavi, it has void, right? This method.
yes.
Okay, sorry, it's not a constructor. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's not a constructor. I'm just sure the constructor is done. We will learn. We will use constructor later. I'm just talking about this statement now. Sorry, this.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so there is one more method, display. And here I am displaying value I, which is an instance variable. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to set this value. Okay, so what I will do, I will call this method set. Okay, set value. Okay, and I'm setting the value as 10. Okay, and now I want to call this display method. If I don't call display method, it will not be printed this. No? What I will do, t dot display. Okay, it is coming. Now what will happen? This 10 value will go where? Tell me. This 10 value, where it will go?
It will display in 10 will go in x value.
Correct, x value. Now x value will go where? In the I value, correct? Here. And I will be printed here. Clear, everyone? We have done this so many times now. What will be the output?
10.
10, correct. Okay. Clear, everyone? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this program? I'm talking to everyone. Abira, Anu, Archana, Osman. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correct, Osman. Or Sneha, anyone, Savitri. Everyone clear about this? Why we are getting 10 here?
Yes, Chavi.
Because if
Yes.
you are not clear here,
Yes.
yes,
Clear.
correct. Okay. Because
Chavi,
day by day it will be getting difficult, you know. So you should clear it here only. Yeah. Someone was saying something.
yeah. So Chavi, assigning a local variable to global variable, that is called initializing.
Yes, it is called
Okay.
initialization. This is called initialization only. If you are assigning here also, it is initialization. Okay. Anything you are giving the value of RHS to LHS is initialization. Okay. Okay. So 10 now if I wanted to reduce my confusion and I wanted to keep this I, okay, I don't want to suppose, you know, we are doing some complicated programs.
Then there is no require of initialization, right? If it both are same, still you require.
No. Yes, that's what I'm telling. Of course you require, no? This is a local thing. This is a local variable, correct? This is a local variable. This
Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
have any.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is local variable. local variable has the value 10. Okay. Local variable has the value 10, but how it will go to the instance variable? That is the problem, correct? And you know, in big programs, when you are doing some big program, that time it is very difficult to give many variable names, right? You wanted, suppose this is employee ID. Okay, you don't want to change that name here in your local variable. You want it to be in the same name. Okay. So what you will do, this will, if you run this program, see it is coming 0. Why? Because the compiler get confused that which value you are taking. So you are taking this I value it is printing, and we have not given any value to it. So it is taking as 0 as a default value, right? We are not giving any value to this. Okay, so this has no meaning then. Set value doesn't have any meaning. Now to resolve this confusion of compiler, what we are going to do is we are using this statement. Oh, sorry, this keyword. Okay, if I write this keyword, so what it is, see now it is pointing to the instance variable. Before that it was pointing to the local variable. We are giving, see this, what do you say?
Difference.
Highlighting. Okay, this is highlighting to the 3 things, 1, 2, 3, to the all the locals, right? And when I give this to this keyword to this variable, it is pointing to the instance variable. So this is the use of this keyword, that it is highlighting to the instance variable. Now we can resolve this issue, and now this is getting 10. Okay.
So how it is, like previously it was not recognizing. So what is this makes you to, I mean, like,
yeah. So with the help of this keyword, you can point to the instance variable. I will show you. Now you are clear with the program. I will tell you the technical part, that how do we say that. See, so this is the program, okay, and it is not, we are not using this keyword, okay, here. So it is giving you the output as 0. If I use this keyword, so what is the uses of this keyword? This keyword can be used to refer the current class instance variable. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the line which I was searching. Like, this keyword can be used to refer the current class. Current class means your local class. Your current class instance variable. These are the instance variable, right?
Can you please explain us, before that you explained, right? This while I value is taking from this. Can you please explain in that way?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I value is taking? I value is taking the, before it was, when we are not using this keyword, it was taking the local variable. With the help of this keyword, we can make it look into the instance variable. Okay,
but
so this
we have set the value for local variable, right? 10. So why it was not recognizing? I got it because it was confusing. So that's
confusing for the compiler, right?
Yeah.
It was confusing for the compiler to search that whether it is a local I or a instance I. Okay, instance variable I or a local I. So compiler got confused because both the names are same. And if we wanted to use the same name to avoid the confusion, we take the help of this keyword.
Okay.
Clear? So this keyword can be used to refer. Refer means it will pointing to the instance variable. Okay.
Okay.
This keyword can be used to invoke current class method implicitly. Okay, how we do that, I will show you. So this keyword can be used to invoke current class method implicitly. What it is doing, suppose there is a test class here in which we are displaying hello. Yes, there are two methods, display and show. Okay. Now in the show method, we are calling this display. Okay. Either we can call it by display only. Display is also same. Either we can call it this does display or only display. Both are same. But the thing is, what we can also use, or we can also invoke with the help of this keyword. Okay. I will show you an Eclipse. Like suppose there are two methods, display and display, and this one method. Sure. Okay. What I wanted to do here, I wanted to call this display method inside the show method. Yes, I can write here.
This display.
Display also, if I write, it will not give me any error. This is also correct, and it will print whatever is there in the
display.
Suppose I wanted to print hello, so it will print. Okay. If I call only this method, wait. If I call only this method, show method, correct. I'm not calling display method, but what will be the output for this?
Hello.
Hello, right? See, hello is coming. If I call this dot display, then also it will work. Okay, see, this is coming. Both are same thing, but this is one of the use of this. That's it. Okay. Can be used to this keyword can be used to invoke current class method implicitly. That's it. Okay. There is just I'm telling you the use of this statement. Then there is a super keyword. Okay, this is the assignment. Okay, this is the assignment that I'm giving you this keyword. All the uses of this keyword, but for super keyword, it is similar to this. So you have to go through that, go through the super keyword by yourself. Okay. If any doubt, you can come to me.
What is that, Chavi? You said, can you please repeat?
Super. Okay.
Super.
Just write it down. I will share one video also about the super keyword. It's similar to this keyword, but it has few different functionality. Okay.
Okay.
If you have any doubt, I will be there to help you. Now comes the third use of this. This can be used to invoke current class constructor. Okay, so suppose there is a class test, okay, and there is a constructor here, test constructor. So there is one more constructor, which is parameterized constructors. This is no argument constructor, and this is parameterized constructor. So if we create an object like this, can you tell me which constructor what will be the output of this constructor? Which constructor is called by the
no argument constructor?
Correct. So this is new argument constructor will be the output. Why? Because this is called. Okay. In the next program, like if I'm calling like this, okay, test p equal to new test, and inside that 10 is passing. So it will call parameterized constructor, correct? But if I write like this with brackets, okay, this with parenthesis, then what will happen? Anyone? Okay, I will show you in the practically. I will show you. So suppose there is a test class, okay, and inside that there is a constructor. Okay. So there is one constructor and there is here it is. Now what I'm doing, I'm calling here this constructor. Okay. So what will be the output?
No argument.
Correct. If I execute, it is saying no argument. And if I pass here 10 value, then it will be calling argument constructor, parameterized constructor. Sorry. Okay. Now if I say here this, then what will happen? It will call the constructor here and both the values will be printed. Okay. If I execute program, see, it is calling by default the no argument constructor and printing it here. Okay. We can call here if I write like this and calling 10 here. Okay. So, and I'm calling this constructor. Then what will happen? Anyone can give the output. What will be the output?
10 and no argument.
Sorry?
10, I think so. 10 and no argument constructor.
10 where 10 will not be printed anywhere. I'm not printing. I'm not printing system.out.println and 10. 10 I'm not printing, right? I'm printing only these two statements. It's just that I'm calling one constructor which is parameterized. Correct? This is a parameterized constructor. Sorry, this is a no argument constructor and this is a parameterized constructor. When I called here this, that means I was calling, I cannot use this 2 times, okay? Recursive, otherwise it will go to the infinite loop. So that's why I cannot do this. I can use only one time. Okay. So when I was in the previous example, when I was giving here no argument, I mean, I was giving blank, that time it was calling this constructor. Okay. Now what will happen? Anyone?
Parameter constructor.
It will call parameterized constructor. So once this will be printed and then
Argument constructor.
Yeah. Because I'm calling this constructor in the main method, which is clear, right? To everyone. I'm calling this no argument constructor. That's why it is going to this constructor. Okay.
So
but
how this parameter construction is coming here? That's because in text it says int a is there, right? Int a is there.
Correct. So this can be used to invoke current class constructor. So it is invoking the current class constructors. Okay. So this is the use of this keyword. Okay. So it can invoke the constructor with the help of this keyword. Okay. We can call the constructor. Invoke in the sense we can call the constructor in the different constructor. Any other constructor we can call that it. Here also we can call, like if we write like this, I'm not sure here it will work or not. No, here it will not work. Okay, constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor only. So it can be only in the constructor. Okay, why? Because we have already called a constructor. Then we cannot again call. Okay, but we can do like this.
So can't we put this 10 first and this one next?
Just a minute, we can do that. That we can do. I mean, system.out.println will not affect. Yeah, no, this is the constructor call must be the first statement in the constructor. Okay.
Okay.
So that should
must
be
the rule, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that must be the rule. So this also we can do. I think we can. Yeah, if we create another object, then only we can call the next constructor. Okay, that we all know, correct? With the help of different object, we can call different constructor. That is clear. Okay, so what will be the output of this program?
Parameter constructor.
Parameter constructor.
And
no
argument constructor.
Correct. So clear, the third point is clear that this and then parenthesis can be used to invoke the current class constructor. Okay. So you can go through this. I will share this PPT with you, and you can go through this examples and try it by yourself. Okay. Now coming to the fourth, this can be used to pass an argument in the method call. Now what this means? This can be this keyword. Okay, this keyword can be passed as an argument in the method call. Okay, so suppose there is a method. Now this is a method M1. Okay, inside the test class we have two methods, M1 and M2, and this is parameterized method. We are passing some parameter, and here we are not passing any parameter. But if we are calling this M1 as this, so it is passing an argument in the method. So what it will do, it is calling this method which has a argument of class. Okay, only the class argument, okay, which we are passing can be called by this keyword. Okay, not any, like if you write string t, then it will not work. Okay, only the class argument. Okay, I will show you here. Suppose there is a method here, M1, void M1, which is passing test t. Okay, test t is what? It's a variable of class type. Okay, then we can M1 method. Okay. Now here what we are doing, okay, yeah, this can be used to pass an argument in the method call. Okay, so what we are doing in M1, we are just calling this method M1 and then passing the argument if I will not give any argument here, it will give me error that the method M1 in the type test is not applicable for this argument. Okay, what I will write here this. Okay, so this keyword is used for calling a argument for the method call. Okay, so like this we can call. If it is like an integer, this will give you error. It is not working like that. M1, this is not matching. Okay, so that's why it should be a class variable. Okay,
Chavi, instead of T, just try with give some another name to that test.
yeah, that you
Yeah.
can do. Any name, F, you can give any name, A, B, C.
Okay.
That is a user defined.
That's
Yeah.
a variable, and type
That's a
is
variable.
class. Yeah.
Class. Yeah.
Yeah. So that you can do any name you can. This is user defined. So this can be. So what will be the output for this? Okay, we have not called anything. So no output will come. We have to call this method. Which method we need to call? M1 or M2?
M2.
M2.
M2, correct. We'll call the method M2. So when we call this method M2, M1 will automatically be called. So it will print M1 method. Okay. Clear, everyone? If you have any doubt how we are navigating from here and there, so you have to ask it now. Okay. I'm giving you in a very simple things because we are in Java portion.
Yeah, can you
Once we
please
go to the
explain me
Selenium,
this one once more? It's really
okay.
confusing.
Yes, so there are two methods, M1 and M2. Okay, we want to call this method. This is an argument method, right? We are passing parameterized method, or we are passing some value in this method. Okay, now what we are doing, we are passing a parameter which has a variable of class name. Okay, so we are giving some class variables. Okay, so this is class name and we are giving some variable of class name. So here in M2 method, what we are doing, we are calling this method. Okay, and with the arguments, like whatever arguments you are giving, we can replace it with this. Okay, so whatever, if we wanted to call some method which has a class variable, so we can use it with the help of this keyword, and we can call this method here inside the another method. Okay, so it is just the use of this keyword. Clear?
Yeah, so here instead of TM2, you can call TM1 also, right? You will get this one.
T dot, you can, yeah, that also you can do, but it will directly,
This is sort of indirect way doing it, right?
yeah, you can give what value to, no, this is not the value. What it is saying, it is saying one should have a test value. So test will be what value? Will be see like that.
No, I think we cannot give Chavi. That's the reason we are
That is the
passing
reason.
Yeah.
this.
It will take only integer,
cannot.
such
This.
kind of local variables.
No, it will not
as
take any.
class.
That's the reason we are passing this, right? If it is integer I, we could have given 10 or something. Because we cannot, like if it is string, we could have given some string. I think because we cannot give, that's the reason we are giving this.
Correct. That's the reason we are giving this, and we cannot call with this also. We can only call the method here in another method. That is the reason we are creating this method, no?
Okay.
Correct. Okay, so moving on. Moving on, there is a one more use. This can be used to pass an argument in the constructor class. Okay, so suppose there is an suppose there are two classes. One is test and one is test demo. Okay, be very careful. This is little confusing. Okay, so this is another class constructor. So what it is doing, this can be used to pass an argument in the constructor class. Okay, so what we are doing, we are creating a constructor here. We are creating a constructor for the test class. Okay, now in the test class, I am passing another class name. Yeah. Okay, class name. So passing the parameter in the constructor class and passing which parameter, which we have already done, right? We have passed the parameter of class name. Okay, so that we have done, but here what we are doing, passing the parameter of another class, not the same class. Okay, so what it will do, so here suppose this is a test class constructor we are printing, okay, in this constructor, and in the another class what we are doing, we are creating one method, okay, which is calling this class, okay, test class. Okay,
it's really confusing. I don't know what is that.
Okay,
really confusing.
Okay, let it pass this one. Okay, let it pass this one, or it will be confusing for you. Okay, so we once you are done with this everything, no, then we will learn this. 5 and 6 will be like little confusing. Okay. Okay, so we will learn it little later. We'll go to it when we are done with little bit of more Java portion. Okay. So access modifier we will learn now. Everyone know about these access modifier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there are 4 types of access modifier: public, private, protected, and default. Okay. Now we know about all these access modifier. Now there is a non-access modifier. There is one non-access modifier. What is non-access modifier? What is access modifier meaning? I'm asking you about the literal meaning, like English meaning of access modifier. Like access, only access.
I mean, how you can access the file. I mean, like, is
Correct.
it like public
Access
is to everyone, private means only to a particular person. So protected means it's protected. So
like in Facebook.
Yes, how much you can access, correct? So if you have made it private, your account as private in Facebook, no person will, no stranger can see your profile, right?
Yeah, like
so
we
similar,
give like access to friends only or group member only, like that kind of access.
Correct. So this is the access you are giving to the what you can say, to the methods and to the variables, right? So similarly, you don't want to give access to, these are all non-access modifiers, like you don't want to give access to the other than these things, okay, like static. So we will learn about the static variables and static methods. That is what like you don't want to give access to those variables and those methods which are not static. Okay, so it is clear, if you are static, I will give you access. If you are not static, I will not give you access. Okay, so that is why it is called as non-access modifier. It will not give access unless until you are from the same breed. Okay, so that is the easy way you can understand. If someone asks you about the other examples of non-access modifier, these are like final, abstract, synchronized, transient, volatile.
So are we using this non-access modifier?
No, only static and final and sometimes abstract. Okay, synchronized and all these are not in much use, but you should have an idea that these are also non-access modifiers. Okay, so we use these three non-access modifiers. Okay. Yes, any question anyone have? Moving on, like suppose the static keyword. Okay, what is static keyword? Static keyword can be used as a variable, methods, and blocks. Okay, we can use the static keyword as a variable, and also variables can only be class level variables. We cannot have a local variable as static. Okay, so inside the method, even in the main method, you cannot have the static variables. I will show you. Okay, suppose I will create one more class.
So here it says public static means static. That is the one you are talking about.
Yes, yes. Now I'll explain that what is static methods and everything. So main method is always static. Why it is static? Okay, this is an assignment that why main method is static. Okay, once you are done with this today's class, now you'll have the more clarity, then you can find out. Otherwise, I will tell you. Okay. Okay, so suppose I have created one variable, static integer I. Okay, so this is a static variable, and inside that, if I make a static class, okay, I make a static M1 method, okay, void. So void method. Inside that, if I try to write static in A, okay, static, it will not allow me to write. Okay, why? Static cannot be local variable. Okay, it is illegal. It's illegal modifier for parameter A. Only final is permitted. Okay, whatever. Final we will learn later. But you cannot write static inside any method. Okay, so this is the rule number 1 for static keywords. Okay, static variable. So static variables can only be class level variable, not with the local variables. Okay, so it can only be the instance variable or class level variables. Okay. Now, if we place static keyword in any variable, it will become a static variable. Correct. So any keyword, if we are not putting this keyword here, it will be a normal variable, and if we put a keyword here, static, it will become a static variable. Okay. Example I have given. Okay. Yeah. So cannot use static variable inside the method. Clear, everyone? So this much you are clear with this? Okay.
This static method, right? You're saying about the static, right? So
static variable, I have told about till now. I have told about the static variables. So any doubt here?
Static variable, okay.
Variable and methods are totally different. Okay? Variables are like when we give like some value to an variable. Like variable is an integer or any data type. Okay, so that is variables.
So in main method, we'll give some public state, right? Static. So that is different than this one. That's what you're saying?
The same thing, same thing. Now we are coming to the static methods. These are our variables. Variables are what vary. It varies, right? When we give 10, A to 10 number, it will become 10. If we give 20, it will become 20. Understood? Right now, I'm talking about only variables. We will come in method for methods also. Methods I'm telling now. So,
Okay.
these are static variables, static methods, static block. Okay. So these are all the different type of static things we will learn today. Okay. So about the variables, class level variables are only static variables, which I've already told you. Static variable can directly access through class. Okay. Yeah, this I have to tell. Static variable can be directly accessed through class. Okay. Now, if I go to Eclipse, suppose this is a static variable I. Okay. Now, if I wanted to give I equal to 10, I can give like this. I don't have to define it inside again. Okay. I can use it like this. Okay. Directly access through class. Okay. Static variables belong to the class, not object. Okay. It is directly belong to the class. We don't need to create object if we have already done this, right? We don't need to create an object. If we are using static variable, we can directly call it. Okay. The main use of static variable is memory management. Okay. So why we use static variable? For the memory management. By using static variable, memory will be saved and project will become more effective. Okay. Static variable allocates the memory only once and only at the time of class loading. See, when we load our class, now like when we are running our class, so that time it will allocate a memory. I will explain this point in detail. These all points, like 5 points, are clear to everyone. Any doubt in these 5 points?
So can you please explain me about the first one, the memory management?
The memory management, right? So memory management is like whenever we are using a static variable in our memory, like it helps in memory management. By using static variable, we can save the project like only once it is storing in the memory. Like I will give you the example for these two things. I will give you the example, then it will be more clear. Okay. Like suppose there is a class area or method area. Okay, there is one class area and or the method area. There is a heap memory where we have done this employee program, right? Where we are storing, we are creating E1 object, E2 object, and these are all the instance variable, employee ID, name, and we are assigning different names to all the like 500 and 1000 employees with the help of the object, correct? And we are passing those values with the help of constructor, right? We were clear about that. Now what is happening here? There is one, there is one more variable now, which is company. Okay. So if I will show you in the practical. Okay. So this is that program which we have already done. Correct. Now there is one more variable which is company. Okay. Company, which is a string type. Okay. Which is a string type. Now for each and everywhere, what we have to do? We have to
include that
company. Have to include company.
String company.
Yeah, good. String company. And then again we have to
string, string equals company.
Yeah. if we write the same name, what we can do? If we write the same name here, what we can do here? We can use this keyword, right? We have learned that. Company equal to company, right? Now here what we have to do, if they are from the, these are the 500 like employees, and we are creating all the object for each and every people, right? We are creating an object and we wanted to pass GuruSchools for all the 500 employees. So this is not a good practice, right? We are giving this very every time we have to pass this variable or pass this value again and again. So this is not a good practice, right? If it is a common thing, we have to store it somewhere, correct? We have to store it somewhere where we can access it and use it. Okay. So for solving this purpose, we will make this as static. Okay. We are making this as static and then giving the value as company name, whatever company name you are giving. Okay.
So you don't have to define anywhere this one.
Yes. So you don't have to define it anywhere. If you write a static variable passing the value.
Okay, got it.
Okay, wait. I will show you that without this, how we can write it down, right? We have to again do it here also. We are still our work is not done. Here also we have to, append the name of the company. But here anyways we have to do it. Correct. For printing the value, we have to do it here. E1 dot E1 dot E1 dot company should come, right? And here for printing, so if we execute this, what will happen? Tell me. It will print. It will print the GuruSchools, correct?
Like when you are giving constructor, when you are creating constructor, when you are creating you don't have to give GuruSchools there. Like Chavi 101 and GuruSchools, you don't have to give.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Then what is the use of this string company, right?
Yes, that is what. Sorry, can you come again?
In main method.
No, I have not made it static right now. I have to make it static now. This is just a simple program, right? What was your doubt, Deepali? I didn't get you.
Yeah, I thought you make it static, Chavi.
Yeah, I haven't make it static. I'm just explaining without static.
Yeah, you got
what
it.
all work you have to do before making it static. What all work you have to do. If you make this static, you are reducing some of your work, which I will explain. Okay, so you don't have to. Yeah. So there is one more method we can create, which we have already learned, like display. Okay, display we can create display. Inside that, what we can do, we can just pass this. Okay, only this much line we have to write, not E1, E2. We don't have to write that also. Only this one, because these are all instance variables. So we don't need to pass the we don't need to make the object for that. Okay, we can delete this. Now what we can do with the help of static variable, static here, and we are giving this as Guru. Okay, and then we don't need to write it here. Okay, we make it static. So this is all we can avoid. Now here what we have to do, we have to call this method. That's it. Okay, we can call this method here e1 dot display, right? And e2 dot display. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Any doubt anyone have? What will be the output? See, same output we are getting, but we have reduced so many lines, right? Clear everyone? How we can make our code effective? Okay, so with the help of static variable, we can make this what we are doing, we are storing this company variable in a separate area, and we are calling that static variable again and again by with the when we are calling this object. Okay, so for each object, whichever we are calling, we are passing the same value, and it is taken from there.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Clear? So this is the there's one more use of static variable. Yeah. So static variable allocates the memory only once. Yeah, this is the last point, right? Only once and only at the time of class loading. Okay, so you can create a program that how it is happening. Okay, so suppose there is a class counter demo. So there is a counter demo, and inside that what is happening is there is one variable integer counter equal to 0. Okay, and there is a constructor here, constructor which is incrementing this counter, and it is printing the counter. Okay, and what we are doing, we are creating 3 methods, and we are calling this constructor. Okay, so if it is integer and if it is static, what is the difference? We will see in our program. Okay, so I'll create one more. Okay, created it outside. So I'll create one counter demo. Okay, so what I have done, I have created one variable counter. Okay, and inside the main, and there is one constructor. Beside that, I'm just incrementing the counter. First, and then I'm just printing the counter. Okay. Okay. Now what I have to do? Anyone? C1. Okay, object. I'm creating an object. Everyone is getting what I'm doing, or if you are not understanding, tell me.
So where you're
We have to
getting this C1?
initialize a counter.
No, you don't have to initialize because it automatically, we have seen now, it automatically takes 0. If you wanted, you can do it. No problem. Anything you can do.
So where is this C1 and C2 comes from?
You
Counter.
tell me.
C1,
You
C2.
tell me what is these C1, C2, C3?
Is it object?
Correct. We are creating object, right? We have created 3 objects here.
Okay.
Right? So what will be the output of this program? Can anyone tell? I have created 3 objects, correct? So यही program था ना यहाँ पर. I have created the 3 objects, correct? Okay, I just wanted to check that how many objects I have created. Okay, suppose there are some 10,000 objects, but I cannot write it here. But you know, when there are big projects or programs, they have created so many objects. Okay, but I don't know how many objects I have created. I wanted to count the objects, how many objects I have created. So how can I do? If I execute this program, it will be like only 1, 1, 1 it is coming. Okay, but if I make this static, then what will happen? It's just incrementing, right? So what will happen? It will count your object, that how many objects you have created. So what will happen?
Before that, why it was not counting? That's what I thought it might.
Yeah. So what it is doing? It is again going to the 0. It is going back to the 0. Like once the object is created, if you don't make it static, it will again go to the 0. It will store 0. But static variable allocate the memory only once and only at the time of class loading. Okay, so once the class is loaded, it will make this memory as 1, then it will be 1 only. Next time what will happen? It will make 2, and again it will remain 2 until unless it is loaded again. Okay, so that is why, that is the use of memory management. That is why we use
before that. So before that it was not saving, but because of the static, it's saving the result so that it will count again. That's what you are saying.
Correct. So this that we can save our memory by like that. We can save our memory. Yeah.
So int counter, is it a variable you're doing it? So but you're making static, right?
Correct. We are making in a counter as a static variable so that it will not lose their memory. It will take that memory and it will increase the counter as and when we are loading the this class. Okay. Once this is a counter demo. This is a class name, right? This is a class name. Once we have created one object here, so it will be loaded one time. When we create a second object, it will be calling the second time, correct? It is calling the constructor third time. Right?
So how like it is second, but the object is not defined anywhere, right? You don't need to define C1, C2 there, because before we used to define object, right? C1 dot
yeah, that's what this is a constructor. No, what I've told you about the constructor is called automatically when we create an object.
Right.
Correct. Right. So we don't have to call this constructor. This is a constructor.
Okay.
This is a constructor. We don't have to call the constructor here again and again. As soon as we create an object, it will be called. How many times it is called? 3 times.
Okay.
Because you have created only 3 objects. Okay. And because we have made this static, though the value of counter will be
Saved
remain as
until.
it is. Yeah,
Okay,
it
saved
will be
until.
saved until unless you will again call this constructor. Okay,
Oh,
so it will save that memory as it is. It will not change it.
okay, got it.
That
Chavi,
is the use. Yes.
the keyword for the constructor is count something like that. Huh?
Keyword?
I mean, not keyword, syntax. The syntax for the constructor is, it starts with counter something.
No, same name. Syntax,
Okay.
there is no syntax for the constructor. There is a same name as a class name. Whatever name you have, this you have written by yourself, right? This is user defined. Whatever you want, you can write it. But the constructor name should be same, whatever you have written.
Okay.
Okay, so constructor name should be same name as you have written in your class name. Okay. Try these programs. It will be helpful for you because once you write with your own hand, now you will understand that this is a class name, this is a constructor, this is how you create the object.
It's too much for us. You should go a little bit slow.
Yeah, so I will end this class here only, and then we will continue methods from the next class. Okay, is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it should be good.